What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I'm coming at you from basically Chicago. I'm sitting out here at my receiver, New Bonnie Trading Company, and got here a few hours early. They got some nice parking, so I might have to remember this place if I ever have to deliver down near Chicago, just to come out here, post up, and kind of leave out from here, because it just looks like it could be just a free-for-all for anybody that wants to park out here at this place. Not like they're checking or anything, but wanted to talk about some of the worst traffic in the country. You know, you always hear people mention Atlanta, and I, for the life of me, don't understand why that keeps coming up. Every time somebody mentions traffic in trucking, and even outside of trucking, they always bring up Atlanta. And I could think just, I don't have this stuff written down, none of that stuff. I've just kind of thought about it a little bit. I could think about a ton of cities that have way worse traffic than Atlanta. I just drove through Atlanta. Once was at night, so I'm going to give it a pass there. But then drove through like 9 o'clock in the morning, not any holdup whatsoever. So maybe a little bit of congestion, but Atlanta is not that bad. I think that's just one of those things. People just parrot because they hear it so much. But come on, way worse cities. Come on, let's think. Dallas, Fort Worth area, way worse. Houston Metroplex, way worse. You know, we could even take it out to, you know, to the West Coast at some obscure places that people may not even have listed on there. I'm going to even throw in Portland on that. Definitely, it's going to be worse in the LA area. And to speak about LA drivers, the traffic might get a little bad at times, but technically, and I've mentioned this before, they're good technical drivers. You don't ever have a problem with them merging. You never have a problem. I mean, sometimes it's like, if you're putting on a blinker to come over into the lane they're in, they'll just kind of get in that next lane and zoom right by. I don't have a problem with the technical drivers in the LA area. San Francisco, Oakland area is worse. Their drivers may not be as technically good, but those are just off the top of my head right there. Then you get into like some other ones that should be obvious. New York, New Jersey, city area. You know, you got Boston, I'll be put up there. That whole, what do they call that? Delaware, whatever that. The whole Baltimore, Delaware, Philadelphia. These are just off the top of my head. I'll even throw in like that whole Bridgeport, Connecticut area is being worse. So I just don't understand why people are always bringing up Atlanta. Now, Atlanta, I will give this to Atlanta drivers. They are some of the most inconsiderate drivers out there. They definitely are going to rank in the top 5 out there as far as that goes. But as far as traffic, I'm just not seeing it. I mean, I'll even say, not as a whole, but, you know, if you're in Denver on I-270, I'm going to say that's worse than the loop around Atlanta. So I just don't, I don't get how Atlanta keeps getting brought up in all of this. But anyway, I got this load coming out here to basically Chicago, picking up out of Kennesaw, Georgia. And when I got to, I'm trying to take a little bit more control over things as much as I can. So I'm at my receiver and I was just like, hey, don't load me until in the morning. So my fleet manager comes back and says, you know what? I'll have you pre-planned today, but not picking up till tomorrow. So I get the pre-plan. And it's something that's been a little bit common lately. There's a pickup time with the window on it, drop and hook, but then there was like a huge amount of time where you got to burn all this time in the middle of the drive. So I just said, you know what, if you could change that 11:59 pickup to 0900 in the morning, that'd be great. So he made that change for me, and then I just woke up and I couldn't go back to sleep, so I went ahead, picked it up at, you know, the original time, or at least the original back into that window. Drove out of there in the night, had a chance to park up yesterday. So I drove all the way from Kennesaw, Georgia to Tuscola, Illinois. Really didn't, I drove till I had 15 minutes left on my clock. couldn't really go any further. And then I couldn't really go any further this morning because I was maybe thinking about trying to get out and drive out closer and then stop and then get another break. But I read the reviews. They said they had parking here, and in Chicago I really don't want to play around with a place that may or may not have parking. So I definitely confirmed that they had parking. So stayed chilling and off duty, sleeper, all that for about 22 hours. Got up this morning, came out here, got out here about 4 hours early. So I think I have a couple more hours until they take me in for delivery. I don't think they take early deliveries. I think they're pretty strict on their appointment time. So by taking control of things, I did send a message to my fleet manager. I said, hey, not in the best area to not have anything after I drop off this load. If I don't have a pre-plan by the time I'm done, I'm going to head to Manuka. And then I may or may not wait till the next morning, or I may tell them, plan me that next day, because I don't want to drive all the way to Manuka just to come back out this direction to pick up another load. But, you know, I'm pretty well stocked, and if these guys, I may just stay here. They got a trash can over here where I could blow out the trailer and everything, so staying here just might be the ticket. But if I could get a pre-plan, that'd be all the better. I got to get out to Springfield anyway for just kind of a swing through, maybe a day and a half tops. May do a 34 out there just to get my hours back, but I think I'm pretty good. I got
you have 7 hours and 51 minutes of remaining
9 hours and 54 minutes left on my clock, or on my 70, and I'm getting 6 hours left, or 6 hours and 47 minutes back tonight, and 11 hours and 42 minutes that next day. So plenty of time for me to get to Springfield. But even at that, I wouldn't have to worry about taking a 34 or anything, because my recaps are pretty strong. So that's what I always tell people. They're always like, if you just drive 8 hours a day, you'll never have to worry about it. There's always going to be those days when you're not running that hard to where your clock will catch up with itself. And I had that actually a couple times on this, where I got out where I needed to go super early and didn't end up driving a lot one of those days. So anyway, that's my philosophy on it. Run your truck how you want to run it, but that's what's going on with me. Some of you guys might have seen Myra. She's been up at the terminal. Except you got to look for her ass. Like, it's hide and seek. You just ain't going to stumble on Myra usually. So she's up there getting, you know, she had to get her DOT inspection, and, you know, I told them to add new airlines to the truck and anything else needs to get done. So they hit me with about 3 jizzle. She had to get all new brakes on the rear. And I was like, girl, Jake, brake. No, I'm joking. She's good to go on that. We joked about that a little while earlier. So some of you other guys might have seen the other driver, Jan, up at Pittston. He had to go up there to get some stuff done. So that's kind of what's going on. So I need to get off this camera and get back here in this air conditioning, because it's hot as a mother up here. But I do appreciate you guys stopping by. No Hippie Trucker and Transportation. As always, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.